I've always been a skeptic. Stories about Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, aliens, I just laugh them off. But a few weeks ago, something happened that completely shattered my worldview. Something I still can't explain, and honestly, something that still keeps me up at night. It was a Tuesday, just a regular, boring Tuesday. I live in a pretty rural area, backing onto a huge, dense national forest. It's quiet, peaceful, and usually the only night sounds are crickets and the occasional owl. I went to bed around 11, feeling exhausted from a long day at work. I fell asleep almost instantly. Around 3 in the morning, I was jolted awake. It wasn't a loud noise, more like a low, deep vibration that seemed to hum through the floorboards and right up into my bones. My first thought was an earthquake, but everything was still. Then I heard it again, closer this time. It was a soft thud against the outside wall of my house, right below my bedroom window. My heart started pounding. My logical brain tried to rationalize it. A deer? A bear? We get bears sometimes, but they usually go for the trash cans out front, not the side of the house. I stayed completely still, listening, every muscle in my body tensed up. The silence stretched on for what felt like an eternity. I was just about to convince myself I'd imagined it when I heard a scraping sound. Like heavy claws or thick fingernails dragging slowly down the wooden siding. That's when the fear really hit me. This wasn't an animal I recognized. I slowly, silently, pushed myself up on my elbows, my eyes glued to the window. The curtains were partially open, just a small gap, but enough to see the moonlit yard outside. For a moment, there was nothing but the familiar shapes of the trees and the bush. Then, a shadow fell over the window. A massive shadow that blocked out the moonlight. It was huge, way too tall to be a person. I could feel my breath catch in my throat. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. I was completely frozen. Slowly, a shape began to resolve in the darkness. It was a head and shoulders silhouetted against the night sky. The head was conical, and the shoulders were incredibly broad, wider than any human I've ever seen. It was just standing there, right outside my window, looking in. I couldn't make out any features, just the sheer size and shape of it, and then I saw the eyes. Two dark, reflective orbs that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. They weren't animal eyes, and they weren't human. They were just watching. There was an intelligence there, a curiosity that was more terrifying than any mindless beast. It felt like we were locked in that stare for hours, though it was probably only a few seconds. I could smell something, too. A heavy, musky, damp earth smell that seeped through the window frame. It was overwhelming, primal. The creature, or whatever it was, tilted its head slightly, as if it was trying to understand what it was looking at. And then, as slowly and silently as it appeared, it lowered its head and the shadow was gone. I waited, not daring to breathe. A minute later, I heard a single, heavy footstep on the soft earth, and then another, moving away from the house, back towards the tree line. The sound was heavy, deliberate. It was the sound of something immense walking away. I stayed awake until the sun came up, huddled under my covers, shaking. When it was finally light, I forced myself to go outside. And there, right under my window, in the soft dirt of the flower bed, was a footprint. It was massive, at least 18 inches long, wide, and vaguely human shape, but not quite. It was pressed deep into the soil. I don't know what I saw that night. My logical mind is still scrambling for an explanation, a prank, a bear on its hind legs. Nothing fits. Nothing explains the size, the intelligent eyes, the chilling feeling of being observed by something ancient and unknown. I've never been a believer, but now I check my locks 3 times before I go to bed, and I never ever leave the curtains open. Thanks for listening to my story. Stay safe out there.